guys. So, mission again. Let's try to brighten this up. So again, the mission came to me last night while they were doing bed checks, kind of how they do it in prison. And well, the one who even it was happened with before, the guy's name is Steve. I don't know his last name, but when I figure that out, I will definitely put that on here. I wish I would have been recording, due to the fact that well, he came by telling me that I can't have an outburst like I did. And then he goes to tell me that it would be totally fine for him to kick me out of the shelter. Now, knowing this, then they are fully aware that all the other shelters here in Boise are full. So you get kicked out of the mission, you're on the street. Rule comes a problem. That is when I have an issue with it. Now, a buddy of mine told me to drop it last night. I'm gonna look up the Bill of Rights real quick. I mean, I forgot. I don't know the order of them. Sorry, I have my game on. Fucking A. Hang on. There we go. Come on. Oh my God, why? Why do you want to fuck up like this? Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights.
Here's the definition of Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments
fuck I hate this. No. Give me a second. My iPad wants to be, or my tablet wants to be slow for some reason. Oh, this could. There we go. Noun, law, the first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1791 and guaranteeing such rights as the freedoms of speech, assembly, and worship. Amendment number 1. Freedom of religion, speech, and the press. Now, that's a funny one, because they infringe upon that right on a daily. Yes, it's a Christian shelter, but does that really give them the right? This is funny. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. This is infringed upon every day. Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Now, it says Congress, but I believe that should state now the freedom abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government in for. Okay, that's kind of weird. Let's see. The Amendment 9 states the next post. Wait a minute. This has been changed. It's been changed. This is not the same Bill of Rights I read when I was in high school. I cannot find right to shelter. So which means that means I'm pretty much fucked. I cannot fight for my rights. They've been changed. The amendments have been fucking changed. This angers me. One of those amendments is supposed to say right to shelter. Let me see if I can find it. Right to shelter. They have right to housing. Why homeless right to shelter bill is a recipe for disappointment. The right to housing is the economic, social, and cultural right. This is bullshit. I cannot find anything about the right to shelter. Now, growing up, I learned that was a prominent right that we have, and nowhere on my Google search did I find a right to shelter. There's a right to shelter act in New York City, but not over here. Now, that's funny because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, or I learned in high school that we had the right to shelter. That was replaced by something else. I'm not sure which it was replaced by, but it's been replaced. And I know this for a fact. Now if I go through and read this again, that gives me no basis. That gives me nowhere to actually come up. God damn it. That gives me no right to shelter. Basically stating they can kick me out onto the streets anytime. The laws have been changed. Our amendments are bullshit. And most of those, it's quite fucked. I thought that was my strongest case that I had against the fucking Christian ministries, but apparently it's perfectly legal for them to just throw people out onto the street. It angers me. by a lot. It's like the government can go through and just change anything they want, which puts me in a predicament of I don't know. And I, as one person, can't do anything. It's totally fucked up. I can't fight this. A lot of things have changed since I was in high school 7 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I have no rights, apparently. I mean, let's look at come on. So let me go ahead and just look at go ahead and look at the Boise, Idaho homeless rights, that I see what I can do. All right. New rulings handed down in the Boise homeless camping case. Boise, Idaho asked Supreme Court to reverse the Ninth Circuit's ruling on homelessness issues. Boise, Idaho asked the court to reverse rulings that shackle its attempts to clear city streets. Several homeless people sued Boise in 2009, alleging that the city did not have the right to remove them from the street when they had no other housing options. Op-ed, how an Idaho court decision will increase homeless encampments on LA streets. Martin versus Boise, criminalizing homelessness unconstitutional, curbed. Well, let's look into that one. Seems more legit. Cities can't criminalize homelessness, federal court affirms. The Martin versus City of Boise says cities can't punish the homeless for sleeping outdoors or on public property. So basically, they can deny us shelter, but they can't deny us to sleep out in public. Pretty messed up. So, fucking A, this goddamn thing is gonna piss me off. This is, let's look up some other instances to see if there's anything's been filed on the mission. Whoa. National Homeless Shelter. Violates Mission Homeless Shelter violates homeless rights. Search. Let's see if we can find anything on it. Homeless say shelter rules are too strict. It's true. Let's read up on this. The rules hang on the wall on your right as you walk into the family shelter for the homeless. All earnings will be surrendered. No spending money without approval. No broken curfews. No missed chores. No missed appointments. The crisply made beds, spotless hallways, and orderly kitchen seem a testament to the success of the 15-year-old 63-bed shelter set up to rescue homeless families from the streets and restore structure to their unstructured lives. But outside, this is out in California, but outside the Long Beach Center one afternoon this week, about 15 homeless people stood in quiet protest. Homelessness is not a crime. Don't treat us like prisoners, one of the cardboard signs read, while staff members... Why won't it scroll? Homelessness is not a crime. Don't treat us like prisoners, one of their cardboard signs read. While staff members contend that the rules are strict to teach responsibility, several homeless residents and their supporters said the shelter is run by a benevolent dictator, and her rules are oppressive. The families complain that unyielding staff members have denied milk to babies, forced mothers to walk the streets, and reduced needy people to the status of cattle. This week, at least 5 of them... What the... Oh. Um, this week, at least 5 of them filed their complaints with the Legal Aid Foundation, which has asked for an accounting of the shelter's funding. Families must agree to turn over their earnings to a caseworker upon entering the shelter, an aging converted hospital a few blocks outside of the downtown. In exchange, they are given a large room with several beds, shampoo, soap, razors, laundry facilities, and a caseworker who devises a plan to find a job and a place to live. There's nothing more to be said on this issue. Everywhere. Oh, hey, there's more. The families are expected to leave the premises between 9 a.m. and noon, and from 1 to 4 daily to look for work or housing. But when there are no appointments to keep, residents say they are forced to wander the surroundings. But when there are no appointments to keep, residents say they are forced to wander the surroundings high crime streets without so much as pocket money even when it rains. Breakfast is served from breakfast is served from 6 to 6:30, whether or not the younger children are willing to eat it. No money is provided for snacks if the children get hungry before lunch is served at noon. Several parents complained. A resident named Mary said she twice sold her plasma for $13 and spent most of it on snacks for her 3-year-old daughter. Lewis Wilson, a father of 3, said that he has been repeatedly denied milk for his baby and told to fill the bottle with water instead. We are treated like we are in a foster home or a prison, Wilson said. They turn us into bums. We have to beg for money. 3 violations of the rules are grounds for eviction. According to the shelter's policy, at the mission, you get one fucking chance. And somehow, by some grace, by my own fucking grace, I am still in that fucking shelter. Gina Peterson, a 17-year-old mother, said she was told to leave this week because she twice missed appointments with her caseworker and once violated curfew by 20 minutes. She said her job cleaning houses in Newport Beach forced her to break the appointments, and her caseworker has refused to reschedule. I ain't got nowhere to go, Peterson said, standing over her sleeping son during Monday's protest. We're not cattle, said Angela Street, who came to the shelter recently with her baby girl. Okay, I'm going to find something more close to my home. But I mean, that's just one. That's just one case of shelters just being cruel to people. You can't have an adequate shelter, and but have all these strict rules. They need, I would feel that, homeless shelters need to understand there is so much. Here in Boise, the mission gives, before you even have your credentials to go find a job, before you can legally find a job, you are told to freaking go out and just be looking for one. Okay, now I understand that a little bit. You need to be looking for work, but when you don't have your credentials, when you don't have any means of, you tend to miss job opportunities. You get a call from places and all that, and miss out on a job opportunity because you didn't have your credentials, because you were forced to fucking go out and find a fucking job. Okay, now yes, I want a job. I want to, I like the fact that I'm able to work. I like I like being able to make money. However, I do not feel that if I don't even have my credentials to find a job, what's the point in even looking for a job? you know, and another thing, in the shelter, or the mission is so strict in its rules, and is very, it's very non, it's not real, it's one of those things where you listen to our rules or you get kicked out on the street, and it's not fair. It's not at all in any aspect of life. It is not fair. I understand rules are in place for a reason, but when you're treated like a felon, when on no point in your record do you have a felony, that's wrong. Extremely wrong. Let me see if I can find something closer. Oh, here, National Law Center. This covers the whole country. Let's see what it says. If it'll open up. This thing's taking so long. I gotta fucking go through it. It's the funny thing is, like, once you sign up with Google, they decide to fucking throw your fucking system up with like a whole bunch of goddamn fucking bullshit, and they pretty much, oh, you need to update this, you need to update that, and then fucking it doesn't fucking work anymore because your RAM is fucked up. Anyway, sorry. Here, civil rights resources. 2019, Alone Without a Home, a national review of state laws affecting unaccompanied youth. This report provides a state-by-state review of laws in 13 key issue areas that affect the lives of an unaccompanied youth experiencing homelessness. Okay, that doesn't appeal to me. Yeah, this is pretty much one. The Fourth Amendment rights of the homeless. Flash the Fordham Law Archive scope. Wait a minute. Fourth. Maybe I was right. All right. Let's see what we can get ourselves into. So, Fourth Amendment. That's what it said on here. Fourth Amendment. But the other site said that the Fourth Amendment had something to do with something else. So is that what happened? Was the Fourth Amendment replaced? Was it replaced? Was it God, my nose is so dry. Yeah, congratulations, you like to fucking freeze a lot, don't you? Guide for Fair Housing for Homeless and Domestic Violence Shelter Providers, Fair Housing Council of Oregon, Religious Freedom and Focus, Volume 6, Department of Justice. The suit also contends that the village violated the RLUIPA Rights of Fair Housing Act, covers homeless shelters, but religious exemption. There we go, this page loaded. Religious Freedom in Focus, Volumes 46. On April 14th, a jury in Massachusetts convicted Michael Jacks of 3 crimes related to burning a predominantly African American print. What the fuck? This has nothing to do with what I'm looking at. This is quite bullshit. Now, let me refresh this. No, I think one person would come on by now. Perhaps being exposed last time was put a dent. So this has something to do with the Fourth Amendment right. So if the page will load. We can get some reading done. It's quite unfair of the shit that goes on every day. I have to fight this. I have to fight every day to fucking, you know, are we fighting a war on homeless or a war on the homeless? New York City has the largest homeless population in which was in line violations of international standards of human rights. Should Memphis maybe that's what I should look up. Human rights. There's 30 human rights. The right to your own things. Freedom of expression. The right to public assembly. The right to democracy. Let's read all of these. It's funny, I think this website was created by youth. And they know more about human rights than our own fucking government. Well, Zeus, I only got an hour left. Before you gotta go out and smoke a cigarette and end my session. Whoa! Okay. Freedom of thought. We all have the right to believe in what we want to believe, to have a religion, or to change it if we want. The right to public assembly. We all have the right to meet our friends, and to work together in peace, defend our rights. Nobody can make us join a group if we don't want to. Right to democracy, Social Security, workers' rights, the right to play. We have the right to rest from work and to relax. Copyright, a fair and free world. There must be proper order so we can all enjoy rights and freedoms in our own country and all over the world. We are all born free and equal. We are all born free. We all have our own thoughts and ideas. We should all be treated in the same way. Don't discriminate. These rights belong to everybody, whatever our differences. The right to life. We all have the right to life and to live in freedom and safety. No slavery. Nobody has any right to make us a slave. We cannot make anyone our slave. No torture. Nobody has the right to hurt or to torture us. We have rights no matter where you go. I am a person just like you. We're all equal before the law. The law is the same for everyone. It must treat us all fairly. Your human rights are protected by law. We can all ask for the law to help us when we are not treated fairly. No unfair detainment. Nobody has the right to put us in prison without good reason and keep us there or to send us away from our country. The right to trial. We're always innocent till proven guilty. The right to privacy, freedom to move, the right to seek a safe place to live. If we are frightened of being badly treated in our own country, we all have the right to run away to another country to be safe. Okay, well, that didn't really hit on anything that I was looking for. Yeah, so what are human rights video? What are human rights equality? It's fucking bullshit. So, the right to shelter isn't even in the human rights. There's 30 of them. And as I kind of read up before, oh wait, hang on, let me look this up one more time. I'm gonna see if I can get the see if I can get the. All right. The Fourth Amendment. Let's look at this one because that one kind of came up in the search. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, paper, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause. Okay, so everything I've been taught is wrong. Everything that I stand for is wrong according to the court of law. Let me type in another thing. Is there a law that protects? No. try this again. Is there a law that protects the right to shelter? Yeah, I'm doing homework, guys. Protecting the legal right to shelter. Oh, cool. Honestly, it seems like most of this, though, it's talking about it's the right to adequate housing. You know, that comes after homelessness. That comes when you've been in a shelter for so long and you finally get a place. This is after, all that. It doesn't say that, like, a vagrant has the right to shelter. It's messed up. This is like for Coalition for the Homeless.org. It's a national website. That speaks about the legal rights of shelter and shit. But it also, from the thing it said, it seemed like it was stating more of, anyway, over the past 3 decades, Coalition for the Homeless, working in close partnership with Legal Aid Society and other organizations, has defended the legal right to shelter for homeless New Yorkers. Again, seems to state that New York has the only place where you have the legal right to shelter. Everywhere else you get denied. Fact sheet number 21: the human right to adequate housing, the United Nations, housing rights for all, promoting and defending housing rights in the United States National Law Center on Homeless and Poverty, housing as a human right. Module 13: the human right to adequate housing, a tool for promoting and protecting individual, community, and health. Housing is a human right. Housing, homelessness, and human rights. Australian Human Rights Commission. Housing and a human right. Australian. New York City. Get homeless assistance. Yeah, nowhere am I finding that apparently you have a legal right to housing, but not a legal right to shelter, which means a homeless person can literally be freezing their fucking asses off in the winter with nowhere to go, nothing to be done like that. There's nothing that protects us from being thrown out into the cold in the wintertime. Now let's look up the this frequencing thing, okay? I'll read you the exact definition. You just tell me how fucked up you think it is. A comment or something. I don't know who's watching. What is frequencing? Boise, Idaho's law of frequencing. Wait, what? Ada County frequencing law.
Here is information from Radio Reference.
Okay. Frequencing.
Here's the definition of frequency. The rate at which something occurs or is repeated over a particular period of time or in a given sample.
Rate at which vibration occurs. This does not fucking help me, Google. Here we go. It's considered frequenting. This is the actual definition. So you, criminal drug charges. The criminal justice system can be overwhelming. Judges and the fuck did it go? Oh, you are fucking kidding me. Criminal justice system can be overwhelming. Judges and prosecutors are tough and harsh and ready to implement punishments ranging from fines to incarceration. Michelle knows those who have been charged with a crime may have serious consequences to face with family, employment, schools, and even finding an apartment or home. Her vast experience with prosecutors has given her a first-hand perspective of how they develop and investigate their cases. This is key to a strong defense. She applies her extensive experience in being a criminal defense attorney to all of her cases, aiming to have charges dismissed and sentences reduced. Be proactive and aggressive in seeking representation. Get the peace of mind you deserve. I'm not finding anything. This is kind of bullshit. Oh, here. Here's something that might have something on it. So this is like a homework stream, guys. I know no one's watching. But at least someone might see it soon and just like this early in the day doesn't really seem like a fucking it's taking forever. Let me go through and delete Facebook off of here. Should have done that the first thing I did. Fucking one. Criminal frequenting is a trap door that should be sealed shut. One crime that has held my ire is criminal frequenting. Most traditional crimes in the Idaho Code are appropriately contained in Title 18 under the heading Crimes and Punishments. Criminal frequenting, however, is found in Title 37, Chapter 27, along with many other crimes under Uniform Controlled Substances. Come on, scroll. It states, it shall be unlawful. Oh my gosh. It shall be unlawful for. There we go. It shall be unlawful for. Wait. It shall be unlawful for any person to be present at or on premises of anywhere he knows illegal controlled substances are being manufactured or cultivated, or are being held for distribution, transportation, delivery, administration, use, or to be given away. A violation of this section, which shall deem those persons guilty of a misdemeanor, and upon conviction shall be punished by a fine of not more than $300 and not more than 90 days in the county jail, or both. Well, congratulations. This tablet just fucked off. Kind of pisses me off. I might have to fucking go through and 18 apps updated. Yeah, well, fuck you. This statute makes it a crime to simply go someplace where illegal drugs are being held for use, delivery, transportation, etc. It requires no intent to buy, sell, possess, or use them yourself. As a result, it applies to such a broad range of legitimate activities that it could be enforced against almost anyone at one time or another. If the state could charge a person with possession, distribution, or some other drug crime, it would do so. But when a person is charged with frequenting, it is essentially an admission that the state could not prove one of the more serious charges directly related to illegal drugs. Indeed, one can be convicted of frequenting without ever having to come in contact with illegal drugs in any form at all. Simply being present while knowing of their existence on the premises is deemed to be a criminal act. Just how far does this principle extend? Have you ever been to a concert where you can smell that somewhere among the thousands of people, somewhere someone is smoking pot? Frequenting, if you go to a Thanksgiving dinner at the house of your brother whom you know smokes pot, from time to time frequenting. Have you ever been to a police station with an evidence locker? Technically, you were probably frequenting, since any drugs held there are to be transported or delivered to a courtroom or to a lab for use as evidence. The list could go on and on. The sheer number of innocent people who could be charged with criminal frequenting makes it a statute that is unconstitutionally overboard and one that should be stricken from the books. Idaho is a state that incarcerates people more frequently and for longer periods of time than most other states. At the very least, we can make sure that the statutes that we enforce actually involve people imposing some kind of harm on the public. So that's what frequenting is. Basically, just being in an area, whether you know or don't know whether there's drugs there. In fact, just being inside a courtroom, you're frequenting, you're breaking the law. But at the same time, you're also breaking the law if you don't go to court. And they seem to love to get this fucking. It's basically what I just read. Is it's not fightable. You can't fucking. You can't fight it. It's impossible. How do you fight something that you can't be proven? And the state of Idaho protects it. Protects that law. So, and the only possible hope that I have is that the judge that I have, or that I get on the 20th or the 13th, whichever day I choose to go, it's a crime. It just going and making a report to a police station, and if they don't like your report, they can charge you with frequenting. It's so fucked. There's no way around it. And it's messed up because they could have charged me 2 frequenting tickets. I live at a fucking Mission. That would be a double charge. And even though most times double charges like that are illegal, I should have pulled my camera out. This law is unconstitutional and unfair. You can't fight it. Hopefully they'll slap me on the wrist because it's my first charge, but I mean, it's not my first charge ever, but what the hell is, oh, it locks it. Well, yeah, there's a frequency charge for you. That's it's a pretty messed up law. Can't do anything. It's illegal to walk down the street nowadays. I'm fucked. I mean, not too bad. It's just a small misdemeanor D, but well, that's what I have to deal with. Nowhere is this fucking crime fair. No way. No, nor is it. Nor is it okay. But $20 went down the drain that day. I don't even know how to get around this. It seems almost impossible. And that charge can get me, can make it so I don't ever get into fucking house, or I don't ever get an apartment. I could protest this law, but what good would it do? Apparently, people have tried and have failed. It goes along the lines of entrapment, which no, I thought was, completely illegal, but, they can do that. There's no way around it. Anyway. I think I'm going to do what I haven't done in a while. Make a prayer to Satan to give me knowledge. That's all I can do. Father Satan, I don't pray much. But I'm asking for knowledge, guidance, so that I may hopefully beat this charge. Ave. Well, I think that's it. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette and then go out over to the shelter and go eat lunch. So, yeah. Hope you guys, when you guys do watch this or when it does get viewed, that you see my side of things and agree or whatever. You can disagree, I don't care. Still haven't got my ID yet. I'm waiting for that. But that I'll, as soon as I get that, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, I will. I'll let you guys know. Anyway, I'm out of here. Hail Satan.